Or they may be playing football and the crowd is yelling, kill the referee. But no matter what the score, when the clock strikes 4, everything stops for tea.
Hi and welcome to Spill the Tea, the show for British expats and everybody who loves all things British. My name's Ian.
And I am Sam. You can expect celebrity interviews, interesting features, and on today's show we have Paul Stone, global show producer. So good morning, everyone. Good morning, Ian.
Well, good morning. And we may have noticed something a little different, that you're there and I'm here.
That's right. I can't say too much.
You can't?
I'm on a special assignment.
You're on a special assignment. So basically, you get to be doing this. How am I not able to do the show from wherever this secret assignment
it's a secret
might
location.
be from?
I can't tell you where I am. I can't tell you what. I can't tell the audience what we're doing.
All right.
Otherwise, I'd have to kill you. So
fair enough, which is probably a good reason why you're there and not here. But This is interesting. We were just saying before we came on the air. So I'm looking down here because I see you there, but you're really right the way through there. That we have had no form to this show. We have done everything possible in terms of mixing it up, and
we're prepared for any scenario.
We are. It's kind of bizarre.
I mean, I don't think there are any more scenarios for us.
I bet you there are. I bet there's going to be a lot more scenarios we end up getting into. But for now, there's a lot of moving parts on this show today.
Yes, there are a lot of moving parts, and so I'm moving my parts further away from you.
If you will, why not? That's fantastic. So what's been going on with you this week then?
My goodness. I mean, every week's always so busy, but this is a big fundraising time of the year for me and for our charity. So coming up this Friday is Murray Sawchuk, celebrity magician. He does a charity show to benefit my charity, Rocking for Rescues, and to benefit Friends for Life.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy because he's back at the Trop this year.
The Tropicana, yeah.
Back at the Trop, yeah. So typically we'd be over in Summerlin, and it's a long drive, you know what I mean? But back at the Trop, all the money goes to our two charities, and my big role is I haven't quite got them all finished yet, but a big giant raffle. And people know us. We're epic for our raffle prizes. And so we're just encouraging tons of people to come to the show and buy raffle tickets because you'll win something really, really great. Watch a great show. Feel very Christmassy and in the spirit of giving. So that's kind of how the end of my year goes.
Nice. And I can actually hear a couple of your co-stars in the background a little bit.
Oh, yeah. In my secret location.
In your secret location. Yeah.
So that's kind of how. I mean, I fundraise all year round.
Yeah,
every
day
of the year.
You're always busy.
There's some big peaks that we have, and Murray Show's one of them. I think this is probably it might be the 5th one we've done with him. And he's a big lover of animals. He loves his little chihuahuas and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm just really, grateful that he would actually, donate everything and his time and all the crew. I mean, it's just brilliant. But I'm really happy it's back at the Tropicana.
Nice.
Really happy about that. It's easy for people to get to, Yeah,
it is. It is.
So if you want tickets, you can. The best way to get tickets actually is just go to Murray Sawchuk's website, murraymagic.com.
And we'll have to get him on as well at some point. Even though he's Canadian, he's still part.
He's
part of the Commonwealth, so he qualifies. Yeah.
There was some interesting stuff in the news. I mean, like we talked about last week, a lot of people feel quite homesick, It's funny because I've lived here, 25 years, and I still call England home.
Right.
Home is home. But a lot of people posting, of course, all the goodies that they bought for Christmas and all the food and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But I do love how we talked about. Did we talk about McDonald's? We did. We talked about McDonald's and Piff the Magic Dragon, didn't we?
We talked about McDonald's a lot with Piff.
He's got a huge love for McDonald's and how different the menus are from country to country. Well, back home in McDonald's, the McFlurries are made with Quality Street and Matchmakers.
Is that the secret?
Isn't that fantastic?
That's a fact?
That we love and we like.
Or is that urban myth? That's real?
No, that's real. I read that in the news. So I think that's fantastic, But and I wish I was back home to be able to have that. Wouldn't it be cool though if a McDonald's here just offered all of the international offerings?
Well, it would, but I mean,
Not gonna happen, is
it's
it?
not going to happen. It's not going to
Not gonna happen.
happen. Yeah. So what else has been going on in your world? Because I mean, I'm living vicariously through you and your secret mission apparently today. So I'm just.
You might be disappointed when you find out what
Oh.
it is. Well, I tell you what is good news. Very good news. Did you used to love the band or still love the band Madness?
Yes.
Well, Madness are going on tour in the States
Really?
with a stop off in Vegas.
Oh.
Now, there's some festival.
We gotta check those guys out then.
It's called the Punk Rock Bowling Festival. I've never heard of it, but I don't care because if they're playing, and I know they played a couple
Exactly.
of years ago, I couldn't go, but I would love to see them. I mean, I saw them on. Well, Paul might have seen this too on the Palladium, the variety show. They were on the variety show on the Palladium,
Right.
which I've been watching on the BritBox app,
Right.
which I absolutely love. I mean, I love variety shows.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love a variety show? But there aren't enough of them, unfortunately.
This is true.
But yeah, but they were on Madness were on there. In fact, they had some brilliant people. I've been watching it episode after episode after episode. Absolutely brilliant. But yeah, so they're going to be doing this big tour, and Vegas is one of the stop-offs. Yeah.
Well, who do we know? Maybe we can try to score an interview with
we're
them.
bound to know somebody.
Somebody's got to know somebody.
Yeah, because there's always somebody knows somebody.
Yeah. We'll work on that one.
Another thing that's in the news, not really Christmassy, but crispy for crisps. Crisp sandwiches. Did you ever eat crisp sandwiches?
No, I did not eat.
What?
I don't think.
Are you even English?
I know. Amanda just walked in and literally walked in around the corner like, "Are you crazy?" Of course you did.
Oh,
apparently.
Crisp sandwiches, or people would, they would be a bit more diversive and they would do quaver sandwiches. So you've never had a crisp sandwich?
Look, other people are actually making comments on your McDonald's references. We got Luke Parker here. He's talking about the McSpicy chicken.
Right.
That's a thing. And then something that's only in McDonald's in Singapore.
What's that?
Maybe the no, it's the same one. It's Luke saying it, but only in McDonald's Singapore, the McSpicy chicken. That's why you hadn't heard of it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But
actually, Luke is very committed to his spicy chicken sandwich.
We got a picture.
I don't know, but he's commenting a lot about it for us.
But yeah, crisp sandwich. I think my granddad used to say crisp, not crisps, but crisp sandwiches.
Crisp sandwich.
But there's a lot of debate. Can you believe there's a whole article on this? There's a whole debate.
I can't believe we're doing a whole article on this.
How do you make it? Do you use butter? Do you use mayonnaise? No, I don't use mayonnaise.
All right.
But I do like crisp sandwich. It's got to be the right bread. It's got to be. I like Mother's Pride or Warburton.
I've already pre-poured, by the way, today. It's just one of those mornings.
Guess what you're having for breakfast next week? You're having a crisp sandwich.
All
That's
right,
what you're having next week.
that'd be great for the audio, wouldn't it? Yeah, that'd be awesome.
It would
and there may or may not just be tea in this cup. It might have been one of those mornings already.
Yeah, I know how that goes.
I know.
But yeah, so that's kind of my little random update.
That's your random update.
You know.
Well,
but talking about global, because we got Paul coming on. He is a global show producer. But are we going to update our globe?
We are going to update our globe, and in fact, I was going to have Paul help us with that.
Yes.
So I think at this point we just get Paul's right here. He's been very quiet and obedient off to my right for a little bit. So welcome, Paul Stone.
Thanks.
Yay.
Hey.
Great to have you on this kind of bolted together show today.
It's like Frankenstein.
And he's not just a little chilly in here, and you may not be able to see this, Sam, but he's actually wearing a Liverpool scarf. Which may be a clue as to where Paul originates from. But we will get to that in a minute. In the meantime, I've got him teed up to be able to tell us where we have people tuning in from this week who've let us know through the comments on the Facebook page. So again, if you're somewhere that we're not mentioning or haven't got a piece of bling on yet, make sure you let us know where you are, and then we will add you to that too. So I am going to get in our world, the famous Spill the Tea globe right here, and I'm going to take our camera See, look, there's a lot going on, but we're still organised. Oh, look, the L on that's gone a little bit weird, but we'll work on that. So now, who have we got there, Paul?
You've got Lynn Marie Howard, who's in South Carolina.
South Carolina.
She's originally from Bury St Edmunds.
All right, very good. Well, we've got South Carolina marked already. Here's one I made earlier.
Go on.
Well, no, I just wanted to say that line because I did these earlier because otherwise it gets too fiddly. Yeah. So what else we got there, Paul?
You've got Linda Burns from Glasgow.
Aha! I did actually add a big, huge one in the blue one up there for Glasgow and kind of everywhere in Scotland because, we had Patrick Littlejohn on last week representing, and so his family's tuning in quite often from Scotland. So they are marked. Can't even make it work. There you go. Who else we got?
You've got Charlene Carlino from New York City.
Oh, Charlene. All right. Well, New York's already identified there, so that's great.
Yeah, and you've got Patricia Roberts, who's here in Las Vegas.
I'm going to think we've got Las Vegas pretty well covered under our massive mark there.
Okay, well, you've got Jacqueline Milton, who's a Brit from Chicago, Illinois.
There you go. Oh, it went blurry. So there you go, got Chicago covered.
A few of the others. Hang on a second. We've got somebody watching from New Jersey, Carletta Smith, who was originally from Coventry.
Oh, there you go. And actually, I did add one in for, I think it was the purple one I just added in. It's sort of, generally speaking, New Jersey-ish.
Okay. Oh, God, you've got so many.
Actually, no, it's not. It's the wrong side, isn't it? All right. Well, I'll fix it.
Okay. Who else have we got? We've got somebody from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Yep. Yeah, I had Milwaukee in there.
I'm not sure if she was from England, but there you go. Oh, hang on, you've also got somebody from Cornwall, I think, because it's talking about the Cornish way and Devonshire cream and stuff.
Oh, there you go.
That's something we don't get over here.
Well, you know what? I need to add one for that one because we haven't got one down here, so I will add one there.
Okay, and here's one even further away live in Hong Kong. Martin Oakley from Hong Kong. Oxley, sorry, Martin, from Hong Kong.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's great. We've got Martin. I actually put that one on there, so we now have Hong Kong on the map. Would you love that?
Let's see what else we've got here. Goodness me. Oh, we've got Linda Ducarte, I think, from Toledo, Ohio.
Toledo. I did add one for that, actually. So Toledo is going to be somewhere around, well, you know where you are. Right there. I think it's the blue one.
Yeah, here's one to test you. Gabrielle Paz Walker Carvajal, and she's from Chile.
Oh, where are you getting all these ones
it's
from?
either from Chile or it's cold, one or the other.
Yeah, really? Wait.
It's an English joke.
Well, you know what? I already had Chile marked down there, so she's covered. That's about it, right?
That's about it, absolutely.
Well, that's a good update. That's a good update. All right, so we're coming away from that one. We get rid of that. Technology.
Just growing and growing.
I know, right. Well, thank you very much for the report.
Since we are talking about people and traveling and all over the world, we never really did a full update of my trip back home, of which Paul was part of that, but we'll cover that in a second.
All right.
So I think we should do a little update, give people a little piece of home.
This is true. We kind of got busy the last sort of few weeks on various other kind of guests and things.
We did.
And so, yeah, I think it would be good for you to give us your little travelogue. I'm going to drink my tea.
Yeah, exactly. Spilling the tea all over Britain. That's what I was doing. So we were going back for a big reason. So that was my niece was graduating with a degree in equine science, but she was also getting married literally something like 3 days later. I mean, talk about do a lot of big things in a short period of time. So that was the main reason we went back. So we had lots of excuses to go to lots of different places because the wedding was one place, the graduation was somewhere else. But the first place we went to was Beverly. Now, I know we've got a video and we're going to run that video. It's only a short one, but I'll talk over it, tell you a little bit about Beverly. Beverly is in East Riding of Yorkshire. And that's the Minster there. And that is where my niece had her graduation. No, I'll have a cup of tea there, Ian. Why don't you? Look at those berries. I mean, come on. But I mean, everywhere you go, I mean, there's small things. You go, gosh, there's architecture, there's history. There's the whole family when we went for the whole graduation. And the history is it's just amazing. It's so interesting. It's a lovely little town, beautiful restaurants, lovely shops, and cobblestones. I mean, if that doesn't say, back home. And there I am with a white telephone box. So have you any idea why there are white telephone boxes, because I had to look it up. I couldn't understand why all of their phone boxes in...
Are they United Nations telephones boxes?
No. Oh, and that last picture there, Victoria, if you watch Victoria on television, some of that was filmed in the Minster, but that's where that graduation was. And in very English style, there was tea and coffee and homemade cakes in the Minster after the graduation. It was absolutely wonderful. But back to the phone boxes. They were never part of British Telecom.
Oh.
British Telecom phone boxes are red. And I kind of liked the white ones. I thought they were kind of fancy.
So who ran them then?
Don't know, can't remember. I did read them. I don't remember.
You led us right the way down the garden path there. We were so excited to know who ran these things, and then nothing.
I showed you that one. I'll find out for you and tell everybody next week. You know how that goes. But our next stop was Halifax. Now, if you are a fan of Gentleman Jack, that was the name that was given to her. She's a real historical character, but she was a modern day lesbian.
Oh.
And a very good businesswoman too. And if you haven't seen the series, it's exquisite. It is brilliant. It is funny. It is jarring. It is an amazing series. I think it's HBO, if I'm not wrong.
Oh, okay.
But so up comes Halifax. Here's a little video of Halifax itself. Halifax is known for textiles.
Remember, you're on a delay, by the way, so that's already run.
Oh, it's already run? Oh, okay. But Halifax is textiles. So, the picture of the big giant square there. All of that used to be textiles where they came and, they did their business dealing with textiles. But now they were going to tear it down, unfortunately. But there was a big to-do. No, we need to keep this. It's historical. And now all of those little places are all shops, cafes. And you saw me there on the sofa with the camera crew. That was from BBC because I decided I'd get on television again. But, a brilliant place to go. Lots of entertainment. Just fantastic. You just can't beat, You just can't beat our history, can you, really?
You cannot.
We've got a lot but after that, we went and did the family wedding, but I won't go through the wedding pictures because I didn't get permission from any of the family yet to show them. You know how they can be.
Right.
So it's a very private thing. But we went up to Anderby Creek. So is Anderby Creek running? Anderby Creek is where my sister lives in Lincolnshire. 7 miles from Skegness, from Skeg Vegas. And literally you walk up her back garden, up a sand dune, and that is her beach. Underdeveloped. Probably the only person to go on the beach in a leopard print coat. Faux fur, by the way, everybody. But beautiful. You pick up your fossils. And it is absolutely fantastic. Super old. Lots of nature. The muntjac deers, which actually are from China. So I don't know how they ended up near Skegness. But as beautiful as you can imagine. I couldn't wait to go. And then, of course, you've got your Victorian... the beach huts and stuff like that, which, by the way, are very expensive to buy in. They're really expensive. And people kit them out like you can't believe. You can rent them, on Airbnb and stuff like that. Obviously, don't sleep in them, but, But yeah, it's that last little house thing there, 100 years old, nicknamed the Witch's House. Like you do. But my sister, I just couldn't wait to get down there. Just peace and quiet. We did a lot of running around. She has a smart home. So she built a smart home. So when you're in the house, you can't hear the ocean. It's airtight.
I think you'd want to, wouldn't you?
Well, the beauty of it is you just open your windows or your doors and there you can hear it. But on a night when it's really rough, when we were there, and my sister said, "Did you hear the sea, the ocean?" I said, "No." She goes, "Hang on, open the door." Couldn't believe how loud it was. Unreal. So I think you'll need to have that anyway.
Right.
But she's got this amazing smart home that's just to die for. But just peace and quiet. And we did a quick drive through Skeg Vegas with a few neon lights. That's its nickname. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we decided on a whim we'd go to Liverpool, home of Paul Stone. So I literally the night before, let's go Liverpool. Okay, and I hadn't been. I did an audition decades ago, so that's there was no real bearing on it. But Liverpool, so as you know, you can go down to the pier, and that's Merseyside for people that don't know.
Paul's actually having an issue with you saying about the pier.
That's Blackpool.
Oh Oh, the dock. Do you call it the dock?
Yes, the Albert Dock, yes.
The Albert Dock.
The dock. I call it the pier. But I've been corrected.
You have been.
But as you go down there, there's a free exhibit for Titanic, which is fantastic to go in and see that. And of course, you want a freezing cold ice cream on a very wet, cold day in Liverpool, and you can go on the double decker bus, have a bite to eat. But the architecture is amazing. The old and the new architecture together works great. And did you see the colored? Can you believe the colored rocks, like the ones we have in Vegas?
Oh, like the Red Rocks?
No,
what?
The ones down towards California.
Those things. Yeah.
Same artist.
There's a stack of painted rocks that the city paid $3 million for, which we could have probably done on a weekend.
That was in the Albert Dock.
That was at the Albert Dock?
It is. It's at the Albert Dock.
Yes, there's one. There's one at the Albert Dock.
Yeah, it's horrible.
One.
It's horrendous.
Same artist.
Same
artist. And then you've got the lamb bananas. You know what the lamb bananas are, don't you, Paul?
Absolutely.
We'll talk about lamb bananas in a bit.
Yeah, they're actually super lamb bananas.
Yeah, and then you've got, of course, the Mersey ferries. We went to the Fab Four Cafe. And, of course, outside the cafe is the most incredible statue of the Fab Four, the Beatles.
Yeah, that looks really good.
It is. It's true.
They're
it's the
huge.
iconic photo.
And I mean, it's just amazing. But, there's so many great references to music and the artists, throughout the whole of Liverpool that it's so exciting when you go around the city. It's so exciting. So we went for a day. We crammed a bunch in, Right. And then we started walking our way up to the cabin. So, do we have the cabin video? Did it already play?
No, we got that. We can run that.
Oh, yeah, let's run the cabin.
It's running.
And we'll have Paul talk more
apparently.
about that after this whole video, but it's a short video. But yeah, it's just iconic. You go, God, this is where all this stuff started, this world phenomenon, the Beatles. Oh, my own video's playing here. I need to turn that down. But that shows us walking down and just seeing that for the first time. You're like, no way, that's great, But it's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. He got very busy in there. And
two songs from the recent number one.
Feeling respect. It was how to go and just fantastic to
and the Summer of Love.
Music on from 11 o'clock in the morning, and now they have I guess you couldn't do it before. You sign up to play on the stage. So that may be a new thing, I don't know. And then guess who we met, because they were there too? Ben and Jasmine and Paul.
So maybe we should explain that Ben is Paul's son and Jasmine is his wife. And
not my wife.
Not Ben's wife, your daughter-in-law, who are in fact also coincidentally going to be guests on this show next week, because they're singers, they're thespians singers, as well, and they're going to be giving us some Christmas carols. We'll be playing some of that on the show.
But it was lovely because we went on a whim. And I text Ben, I said, we're on our way to Liverpool. Are you around? Can you meet? Well, they just done their variety show at the Empire. And he said, yeah, we're just around the corner from the cabin. And we went to the most fancy of places to have a coffee and a bite to eat. And that was Greg's Bakery.
Greg's Bakery. Well,
It was,
it's good.
Yeah.
It was great.
It was a highlight.
Yeah, get a nice pasty in there or something.
Well, more like a cake.
Oh. All right.
Pasties are not much.
I was thinking Greg's. I always think of like those flaky kind of.
They do. They do.
Yeah.
Lots of calories.
You can buy a Greg's Christmas jumper with pastry designs on it. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes, you can. £40, by the way. Then our very last stop, and I never go home and not go to Chatsworth House in Derbyshire.
Right.
And Chatsworth House, we started going, you had school trips.
Yes.
We may have been 5, maybe a bit younger than that.
And you're a big fan of Chatsworth House. We've established that already.
I call it my Chatsworth. Everybody knows it's my Chatsworth House, yeah? I know so much about the house, and I'm always learning new stuff about it, but we did our trip to Chatsworth, and every Christmas they theme out the house, and this year's theme was Amelia Earhart, and Phileas Fogg. So what they do is they pull all these fabulous artifacts and treasures from the house that related to those characters, and with what really happened in the house as far as their own travels, and they pull them all into the stories through the entire house. It is amazing. And then we got to a point where, again, you're respectful going through the house and oohing and ahhing and taking pictures and reading stuff. Then we come across this room. There were racks and racks of costumes. And then there was a hot air balloon basket with a faux Chatsworth house in the background. And then we became like nut jobs. Me and my sister's like, I'm going to try costumes. We had hats on and safari hats, climbing his basket, made Jim be the photographer, had to change costume twice, couldn't just be satisfied with one costume, and that was just lots and lots of fun, And then, after that, we walked through the grounds. It's spectacular. I mean, they had some, their fountain is an engineering feat never seen before in the world, where it's powered by gravity, the fountain itself. So many amazing, innovative things came out of Chatsworth House, including Cavendish bananas. If you eat a banana, it's more than likely a Cavendish banana that originates from Chatsworth House, in case you didn't know that, So a trip would never be complete without going to Chatsworth. It's always different. Their Christmas markets are on right now. I just missed them. They're amazing, absolutely amazing. If you've never been to a Christmas market, you've never been to England, and you're going for a trip, go around about Christmas. The atmosphere is unreal. But they do twice a year a Pride and Prejudice ball. Everybody dresses up, Pride and Prejudice, the traditional fair, the dancing and everything. They'll have amazing concerts on the lawns. Jamie Cullum had a concert one time. So I think the way that they market the house, because I know these houses have to, because it's, these big houses are hard to run. They're expensive. So typically, part of the house, the family live in it, and it's private residence, and then the rest is opened up for the rest of us to enjoy. But an amazing place. It's only around the corner from Bernie Clifton's house.
I was going to say, Bernie was on the show. You said you were going to drop in and see him.
I know. He was in Dubai. I landed and he flew out to Dubai. So next time for me and Bernie. But just all in all, one of the most amazing family trips I think we've ever had. And we're going to repeat it all again next year, because we've got a nephew who's graduating next year. So we'll just do it all over again. So that was the trip. That was the whole trip itself.
Well, I feel like I've been with you. That was
you've been in that
almost in real time as well. But
you've been in that hot air balloon basket with me,
I
tell you what, though, Paul will be able to, of course, give you some fantastic stories about Liverpool and whatever. But I think what we should do right now is, do you think we should run our new segment with Eve? Because I am going to actually duck out of here shortly, because I am on a secret assignment.
On your secret assignment. Well, all right, why don't we do that then? So, Sam, thank you for tuning in from wherever this secret location is. And we hope we'll be seeing you in the studio next week.
Yes, with Ben and Jasmine.
Can't wait for
that. It's going to be really great. But I'm really excited that we've got this new segment with Eve, BFF. And I guess we should run that right now. BFF with Eve Dawes.
I'm back this time with some beauty tips on how to create those festive, fabulous, glittery lips we see this holiday season. So let's rewind. So first thing you're going to want to start with your lipstick is a smooth base. So just exfoliating your lips with a really mild sugar scrub. Just exfoliate nicely and then wipe them clean. And then there's a couple of things you can do to prep for the lipstick. One is you can use foundation. So when you're putting your foundation, continue it over the lips, but that can start to dry lips out or accentuate fine lines. So I actually prefer to use a primer designed specifically for the lips, especially one like the one from Dawes Custom Cosmetics is anti-aging. So it helps to fill in and smooth out the fine lines as well as being really hydrating. And then it helps the lipstick adhere to the lips so it lasts longer. So with red lips, red lipstick especially, that's really going to help make your color last and not get that faded out look. And when you're doing a bright lipstick, I think when you're doing glittery lipstick for the winter, we like to do that red, is just to make sure you line the lips to keep the lipstick in place rather than starting to feather, especially if we're eating and drinking, it can start to wander, which isn't really the look we're going for. Then you can either use a lipstick like I'm using, or you can use a lip gloss. There's not really a right or wrong way to do this if you're using glitter. I just find the lipstick, it lasts longer with the glitter application, whereas the lip gloss can tend to transfer a little bit more. And the other thing I would say with this, some people say to use a lip balm to condition the lips before. I would say to avoid that, because that will create, it'll make the lipstick slide rather than sticking. We want it to stick, which is why I said use the hydrating primer, and that will avoid all of those issues. Then you have a couple of issues. I probably have more than one issue. A couple of options when it comes to what glitter you use on your lips. I would say there's two options. One is to use a red, but this can make it a little bit too intense, and then you're only really going to use it on your red lipstick, as opposed to using this one, which is my favorite because it's called Diamond Dust. Whereas I can use this if I want to do a glittery lip any other time of the year. I can put this on top of any color, and it almost lightens the lipstick as well. So here we go. I'll show you what it looks like before. So you can see the difference it makes on the bottom lip compared to the top and after. I'm going to do something different now just to show you the two ways if I did it with the red, and then you can choose what your favorite is, because there's no right or wrong. It just depends what look you're going for. I'm going to put the red on the top lip so you can see the difference between the two. One is going to be, obviously you're going to use a powder brush to get rid of all that fallout afterwards, but you can either create a darker look on the top or the lighter look on the bottom. I actually think I prefer the red lip, the dark one on the top, but that's just me. But then I am locked into that color, or you can just go crazy and do both colors. So this is going to be the finished look with just the ruby red glitter, and I'm going to show you the finished look with the lighter. The reason I say to use the glitter instead of buying a lipstick with glitter in is those lipsticks tend to feel very gritty, and then it's only one use, right? Whereas this, you can just use your regular red lipstick and then, or whatever color lipstick you want, and then use the glitter to play around and change the colors, so it's way more versatile. All right, I'll be back with the lighter look. So this is going to be the lighter look with the Diamond Dust. If you have smaller lips, I recommend going for the lighter colors because they're going to make them look plumper and larger and lovelier. But I would also say, just don't be afraid to play with color. Have fun this season. That's what it's about, just getting glittery and fabulous. And if you're looking for Christmas gift ideas, these are great stocking stuffers, whether you get the Diamond Dust or the Ruby Dust, the small parts. You can get them on doorscustomcosmetics.com and throw those in their stockings this year.
So that was that, and now it's us. Now it's our turn. I mean, I feel like I didn't even realise I was on a show there for a minute. I felt I was on a travelogue of England, and but now it's you and me.
Excellent.
Excellent. So welcome, Paul.
Thanks.
It's like a second entrance because you've just.
That's right.
We had all that, and now we get all this.
Yeah.
So Liverpool, we've established.
Yeah, well, it was quite a surprise actually to see Sam there, because I was back there to produce a show for it was like a tribute show to a young boy who sadly passed away last year, but who we'd brought out to Vegas with his family before. So Ben and Jazz and all the show people in town had supported them when they're here. And we did a big show at Liverpool Empire Theatre, which is like a 2,000-seater theatre.
Nice.
Which was great because I've worked lots of theatres, but I'd never worked our home theatre, nor had Ben actually. So they flew over. But anyway, we invited Sam and Jim, but they actually didn't make any comment at all. And then the day after the show, they appeared appeared in Liverpool and said, "Hey, we're in Liverpool. Why are you here?" So that was quite fun. So that was good. So we ended up meeting them just literally along the road from the Cavern in Greg's, which is a sandwich shop.
Yeah.
Not the most salubrious place. I mean, it was literally right next door to the Hard Day's Night Hotel, which is a Beatles-themed hotel. We could have met there, had a nice cup of coffee. Instead, we sort of all squeezed into this one little table.
It's real English stuff.
Oh, it was. And it was cold, and it was wet.
So what brought you to the States originally? I mean, other than performing, but to live when you decided to become the expat, effectively?
Well, because I'd been coming out here for 20-something years, more than that, always.
In fact, actually, I know we've got a picture of Paul here in Las Vegas.
Oh,
now
my
you mentioned
God.
that.
Oh, dear.
There's
It's
like
black and white, I think, isn't it?
It is.
It's
it
that
is.
old.
But it's right here. We're going to get it up on the screen right now. See, look at that.
Hey.
Look at you there, with the white shoes and everything.
Look at George Burns was there too. That shows you how long ago that was.
So what year was that?
Probably. At least 30 years ago, more maybe.
Wow.
Yes, probably long enough. But probably early 80s, maybe 80, 81.
Yeah.
That's 40. Oh my God. It's 40 years ago.
Right.
That's scary.
Crazy.
Yeah, moving on quickly.
So now, you've been performing out here, you've been doing stuff.
Yeah,
and then...
and I came out really because I've been obviously a show producer for a number of years, as you know, and then came out here and started putting a few shows on here. But we used to come over and travel back, and I did more miles transatlantic flying than it was ridiculous, and so tried to find a way to come out here.
Right.
And actually, we almost moved out here when both my boys were small, and we were going to move here, but at the time it wasn't the greatest place to have them sort of live. So we actually moved to Tempe in Arizona, which is where ASU is, just by in Phoenix.
Yeah.
Some friends of ours there told us about Tempe, because to me Tempe was like just 1 penny short of 11p, right? Which was, it's like, didn't know what the hell it was
Sounds
about.
cheap place to live.
But it's actually a cool place. It's where obviously ASU is, which is amazing. Anyway, so I used to fly in because I've been involved with magic for many, many years, as you know, and at that point I did all the pre-show stuff for the Lance Burton show, which started at the Monte Carlo, and we did stuff for the show. So I used to fly in every week from Tempe, but it was and then we moved back to England because my eldest son became a professional footballer.
That's right. He played
for Blackburn Rovers. Yeah, when Blackburn he went in the academy, played in there, and then played in the Youth Cup final. Then ended up playing at Notts County for 3 or 4 years when they were in the league and not a bad team.
Yeah.
But then, say about 10 years ago, we finally decided I decided, and everybody else had to follow, to come out here. Ben and Danny were sort of already on their way out here through contacts, and so we've all been out here. And Danny was here for a number of years, and Ben met. I put a show on here with a group from Hawaii, and the special guest star was Jasmine Trias, American Idol star from Hawaii.
Yes, exactly, yeah.
Who's absolutely brilliant, and Ben met her, and the rest is history. And they got married last year in Hawaii, and number one son got married actually 2 weeks ago here in Vegas. So Danny,
oh my gosh.
So anyway, so I've been coming to Vegas for years, and mainly through the Magic connection, probably initially.
And you're still good friends with Lance Burton, and Siegfried and Roy, and all these guys.
Well, I was lucky. Yeah, Siegfried and Roy. I mean, their show to me was still the greatest show I've ever seen in Vegas. But after they had the accident, we had Siegfried and Roy fly over to the Palladium. We did a big tribute to Siegfried and Roy at the London Palladium. It was Shirley Bassey was there, and everybody was there. It was a wonderful, wonderful night. It was a few years ago now, but and they were obviously fantastic. And Lance, who retired how many years ago, he's sort of come out of retirement a little bit and does a show now with Lance Burton and Friends. And in fact, I just arranged and negotiated for him to appear at the world's largest magic convention in Blackpool in February. That's going to be a shaker for him. It's going to be cold, wet, and windy. But he's appearing at the Opera House, which, as you know, is 3,000-seater theatre there.
Yeah,
so,
that's amazing.
So I'm still in touch with Lance and see Siegfried and Roy from time to time as well.
Wow. Now you are actually responsible for the very first time I even came to Las Vegas.
Right.
It was. I think it was like 1990, I think it was.
Okay.
And it was for a corporate event, and we were out here doing whatever we were doing, and that was, it goes way back. But yes, you actually have been very responsible for quite a lot of my sort of career moments, whether it had been in the UK or here in the States or even other countries, actually. So you and I do go back a long way.
Yeah, we do.
Yet we still can't see eye to eye on football.
No, absolutely not. Well, we can see eye to eye. We just have to accept the pecking order.
Right.
Chelsea have had their moments, but you have to say European champions and possibly Premier League champions with a bit of luck this year.
They're doing well this year. I'll give you that. I will give you that.
No, I'm afraid I've been watching Liverpool for many, many years. In fact, long, I can't tell you how many years, but I first saw in the final in 1965 when Bill Shankly was the manager.
Well, and again, it's cute. He's great at queuing up photographs. I think we got a picture of a small pool, effectively, which Travis is really. There he is.
Yes.
Yes. That just looks like kind of you now in a small body.
Thank you for that. I'll take that as a backhanded compliment. It was rather backhanded, if I may say. Hey, but you know what? There you go. We used to have rattles in those days. You see that my left-handed rattle. Of course, you can't have them now because they're now a weapon, aren't they? Now,
that's right. Those ones that you used to spin
around. Health and safety won't let you do that now.
No, it's true.
Which is amazing.
That's funny.
But I'm still, I'm very proud. And we have. I've still got 4 season tickets for Liverpool, which we've had for over 40 years because it's a 15-year waiting list, as you know. Well, you probably wouldn't know. Chelsea probably don't have anything like that, but. Anyway, there you go. But I'm afraid at the moment, yes, it's a very proud supporter of Liverpool.
No, that's great. So, and I know I've seen various pictures on social media of you. You're always there when you can be.
Absolutely, yeah. We saw some great games. I was there with Ben actually for the Barcelona semi-final last year, which was just unbelievable.
Yeah.
But we've seen some great games. But just going back to, if we can, just to the cavern a minute, going back to Liverpool and Sam, I'm going to say one thing I was going to say about that is that just outside the cavern now, there's a wall, very similar, there's a wall, and each brick is the name of every performer that's ever played at the cavern, which is pretty exciting there. And I've
never been up there.
Really, actually,
never been to the cavern.
You really should. It's and when you the crazy thing about the cavern is it's only you go in there. It's very small, very low ceiling.
Yeah.
And you go in there, and as Sam was saying, now they have entertainers in there pretty much every day. And it used to be you could just go in there, but obviously they charge you to go in there now. But there is a great atmosphere there. The amazing thing is when the Beatles played there.
Right.
The Beatles played there 247 times, and there's a couple of stories with that. Firstly, I mean, it had a capacity then of probably 250 people, and that staircase that you saw Sam going down, I mean, it's very narrow. But in those days, that was the only way in and out, and they used to have 700 people in there.
Oh my God!
So it was ridiculous. I mean, just incredible, really. But still, but it is iconic. It is special.
Now, the only two places I've been back in the, I would say, late 80s, when there used to be kind of this whole scene of like nightclub acts, of which myself and Amanda were part of that whole scene. There were two places. One was the Grafton Rooms.
Oh yes,
in Liverpool, which is
yes, it's
hardcore.
It's a venue.
It's a venue, but better than that was just across the way in Birkenhead.
The Hamilton Club?
No, it was a place called Sir James Entertains.
Oh really?
Which was a club of sorts, I guess.
Really.
And we were doing this act on the stage, and this just reminds me of obviously performing Liverpool, and the thing is, it was a place where they would sell the beers in cans and give you the can. They didn't want to put it in glasses. They just give you the cans. So we're doing our show, and everyone's at the front of the stage, and they're rolling cans of beer onto the stage, like under our feet, and we're getting kind of pretty frustrated by this. So the whole way through the act, this kept happening. So we went backstage afterwards, and we were kind of like, what the, And the manager comes back with these 2 crates of beer. And said that, well, those are for you. And well, what do you mean? What do you mean? Well, no, they're for you. But can I buy them back? So he wanted to buy the 2 crates of beer back from us. And we were totally confused. We're like, what do you mean? They clearly didn't like us because they were trying to trip us over with rolling these cans of beer on the stage. He went, no. He said they really liked you. He said if they didn't like you, they would have thrown them. The fact they were rolling you a beer, they were actually buying you a drink effectively. They were giving you a beer.
Wow.
And so he said, so since there's quite a lot of them, can we buy them back? And so we made a little bit extra on the night.
Wow.
And learnt a new cultural...
And that was in Birkenhead?
That was in Birkenhead.
Birkenhead's very different from Liverpool. It's very posh in Birkenhead. It's through the Mersey Tunnel, and once you get...
Very posh?
Oh, well, it's posher, yes. When you're getting onto the Wirral, it's all, it's where the pigeons fly upside down, of course.
Other friends of ours also were doing a show at that same place, and they'd been pigeon shooting, actually, earlier on in the week, or some sort of hunting. And so they took their gun to the police station just to have it checked in there while they were staying there for the couple of days. And then the policeman asked them, "Oh, what you doing up here?" And said, "We're working over at this club." And which one? And said, "Oh, Sir James Entertains." Pushed the gun back across and said, "You might want to keep that."
Just saying.
Yeah, just saying. Yeah. So
no, it's interesting because it's funny because you're talking about those clubs. I actually learnt my trade working the northern clubs. When I was young, when I first got in the business many years ago, that was the place you could go. All the working men's clubs where you could. I mean, you died. I mean, I died some horrible deaths, but you learnt the business. It was somewhere where where younger acts could go and work. It's nothing like that now.
There
It's
really
all gone
isn't.
now. So there's nowhere for them to learn the trade.
That's right. And a lot of other acts, major names also took that same path as well.
I was lucky. I toured with people like Dave Allen and even Tom O'Connor when he started, and we worked at the Shaky Theatre Club, which the Shakespeare Theatre. It was, but it became a club. But so many. I mean, Liverpool's obviously known. I was lucky. The other thing, when I go back to Liverpool, one thing Sam, she mentioned it vaguely, but I'm not sure she did it. Whenever I go back there, which is quite often. Basically, I always go on the Mersey ferry, which is the ferry across the Mersey, which was made famous obviously by Jerry and the Pacemakers, which is always cool. It's quite funny because when you get on it, they play the first 8 bars. When the ship's going, the boat's going out for this tour for an hour, they play the first 8 bars of the song, and then they stop because if they played 10 seconds, they'd have to pay royalties.
Oh, that's funny.
So
funny. Do you miss stuff, or you go back there enough that you don't really
I'll be
miss
honest,
it?
I go back, whenever I go back, because my mum's there, and so I go back and see her as often as I can, but I always try and tie it in, obviously, with trying to go to see as many games as I can. I miss it, but when I'm back there, once I've been there 2 or 3 weeks, I have to say I'm ready to leave. It's, of course you miss it, maybe not the weather, but of course, it's home, isn't it? It's where you're from.
It's true.
Yeah, there's nothing, there's great stuff over here in all different ways, but there's certainly that passion, which we have for football.
Of course.
Is something it's very hard to, it's hard to explain, isn't it?
So you've produced shows. You said you're doing one in Liverpool. There's this fundraise, this charity event. Right. You've done a lot of huge shows in around the UK and, of course, over here as well. Used to do a lot in sort of Grosvenor House and a lot. You've raised hundreds of thousands of pounds for charity over the years, for sure.
Well, I was lucky because, as I say, I'm a variety man, so I'm a bit of a dinosaur now. In fact, it was interesting when Sam was saying there aren't enough variety shows. The hardest thing about a variety show, unless you have a star name, is getting people actually into the theatre. Once they're there, it blows them away because they haven't seen anything like it. You see all the different acts. So you see the singers, the magicians, the ventriloquists, the contortionists, whatever the heck it might be, and the jugglers, and it's a great show. And so, fortunately, we've produced a number of shows at London Palladium, which was always my dream. I used to go as a young boy. I was taken to see some great entertainers there, and to actually go there. And when I remember producing the first show, it's very moving.
Why do you think that is, though? Why do you think that lack of kind of interest? I mean, we have the same problem here in Las Vegas. The shows, they struggle. I mean, they got to get bums on seats. Sure. But do you think it's the obvious, the social media, the shift in culture?
I think what it is, I think there's an awful lot more things for people to do now. There's a lot more interest to there. We are in a very much a star name culture. I think if you've got a star name, they'll turn out and they'll sell out. But variety is tough. Also, to put a variety bill on, you're paying a number of acts, and it's obviously it can be quite expensive. But so
for the smaller producers, it's prohibitive. Whereas you get
it's really hard. But I mean, to me, but there's nothing like it. You were talking about Bernie Clifton before. Bernie. Obviously, Bernie's a great variety. He's a classic variety act and funny man with a great voice. But those are the real variety people. Sadly, they're sort of dying out. Right. But as much as I can, I do it. But the interesting thing is, that said, all these TV talent shows like America's Got Talent, Britain's Got Talent, all these shows, I mean, they are the most. I mean, everybody, they watch it by millions, aren't they?
They are. But that is the irony, of course. That, the audience has shifted to the.
But they'll watch them for a minute. See, the thing is that then you try and book an act from America's Got Talent or Britain's Got Talent, like a speciality act, and you ask them to do more than 3 minutes, and they look at you like, seriously,
you've got to do 90 seconds.
I mean, really, because they're on the show, and that's the difference. Is they don't tend to have a solid act, or maybe when we used to work at the clubs, we used to have 2 spots. I mean,
it's the attention span as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, even the biggest shows here in town, even the Cirque du Soleil shows, are shortening the shows by 15 plus minutes. which doesn't sound a lot, but I mean, the reason for it is just because of the shortened attention span of the audience now.
Yeah, and it's also, I mean, Vegas is very different. When I first came to Vegas, Ian, you're talking about, every big casino had a marquee and had a major star, and everyone used to literally dress up to go to the show. There was a maitre d' that met you.
That's right.
Then they'd seat you. Then most of them would have an orchestra as well. Now, if you put a show on, people come in like they've just come out of the pool. Yeah. They walk in 10 minutes late. They're on their phone half the show, and then they walk out 10 minutes. It's just a whole. I mean, and that's a sad thing actually, because I think that's one's. And the other thing about in Vegas, also the lounge shows in Vegas. When I first came here, they were the best thing that you could ever go. The lounge shows here in town and some of the talent was just fantastic. So it's a shame. I mean, obviously things develop, and now we're in the era, this more era of nightclubs and DJs, and that's very popular. But I think it's a shame because I think we're missing out on.
I mean, honestly, even what we do here on this show is completely opposite and counter-intuitive to what they say. We do a long-form show on Facebook Live, and we do it because we have a good time. If it works out that way, we don't want to do kind of a 5 or 6 minute kind of thing that might get short. People drop in, they drop out. That's fine. People want to watch for a little bit or not watch at all. That's really fine. But I just think it's nice to have something that's got a little bit more
substance
depth
to it. And also, I mean, also all the people from England and stuff. I mean, whatever we say, as good as it is here, and we all know that it is a great life. But we do miss. You miss your things from England. There's something. It's your heritage. It's who you're from, and it's just the whole.
So now, what do you got coming up soon? You got a couple of new things.
I've got a couple of projects. I tend not to do shows now, or put on shows. I did the occasional charity show, but because things have changed. But I now try and speak on cruise ships. I quite like that. It has two appeals to it. One is I don't have to book lots of acts and then be responsible for them. And after a certain number of years, that's a good thing. And I love travelling, and I love cruising. But part of my background being in magic, I've always been interested in sort of memory and stuff and things like that. So we come up with a thing called Mind Sharp, and it's got two parts. One is Mind Sharp, which is it's a way to help people improve their memory, their everyday memory frustrations. So things that we all have, like you meet somebody and 3 minutes later you can't remember their names, or you park your car. Now I know you've got clickers, but sometimes you don't remember where you park your car, or for us slightly older people, you go upstairs, you can't remember if you're going up or coming down, or or where you put the remote, or you open the fridge and you can't remember where you did. All those simple things. So I've come up with a very simple way of actually remembering names and PIN numbers, passwords, and stuff like that. So that's something which I'm increasingly going to do hopefully on cruise ships. And
so it's a live presentation.
It's a live presentation, but obviously there's the follow-up stuff for them. And I also do Mind Sharp Magic, which is using my magic background, ways to help people to keep their mind sharp and their brains active. Because you know how it is with, I mean, my mum has dementia, and I see she was a very very excellent business lady for years, and now it's really tough. She has a very short-term memory, and for people, so anything we can do that keeps your mind sharp, and it's fun, and also. Thing about magic's great. It's a great icebreaker. I mean, for all we've talked about the Siegfried and Roy's, but as a hobby and as just a way to, again, we also do something called Mind Sharp for kids to help the kids with self-confidence and meet people and stuff. Right. It's a great thing. Magic's a really great tool for for socially as well. And I've always enjoyed that part of it. So to be able to go out and talk about it and also help people is quite exciting.
That's great. So and that's, I mean, you're starting that up right now, but there will be a website for it
in the new year. Everything was going to be launched.
Let us know what that is.
Absolutely.
The details out there,
great,
and then people can kind of possibly get some information, and like, is it going to be something you can interact with the website?
Absolutely. Yeah, and the thing is, it's interesting because you always tend to think that it's just older people who have a problem with their memory. It's actually not. It's amazing how many people just. And
I think it goes back to the bombardment that we all have now. Of life, of social media, of everything on your phone. I mean, we're all walking into lampposts looking at these things. So
it's like people can't add up because if they want to add up, they go on the calculator on their iPhone, right?
Right,
and that's it. They don't. So it's all that stuff, isn't
exactly.
it?
So I mean, I see it in every capacity. People's just attention span is way less
shorter and shorter. That was quite good. Like, you should be in the entertainment business.
I should be, shouldn't I? Yeah. But thank you so much. I mean, I appreciate you kind of coming on. And
it's been great. It's great to be the warm up for Ben and Jasmine. It's yes, I'm sure they'll tell me that.
Your son and daughter-in-law will be on the show next week. That's just gonna be a fun one.
Yeah, and to be fair,
unlike this one.
No, thank you very much. This was terribly boring. Yeah, they are. Thank you for that, Ian. And it's been nice knowing you. And
for the 30+ years that we have.
Yeah, no, but Ben and Jazz are they're very talented, and I'm very, very proud of both of them. So it's great.
No, they're great. So that's gonna be a fun one next week.
Yeah.
But before we go, there was something that you've brought in, which you insisted that
we have to do this, but we have to coordinate.
We
it
do.
In, all right, we have to coordinate. You have to put it on.
I'm putting it on.
You have to. I wouldn't. Come on, put it on. Come on. If I'm going to put it on, you're going to put it on.
Put it on, and then we got to figure this out.
Okay.
So we're going to have to. This is great. This is very festive.
This is really cool.
All right. So
we're up to 3.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Oh, you.
I'm off.
You miss.
Oh.
I can't believe we're doing this, really.
I don't think there's much left to say, really. I think to end the show.
Well, Merry Christmas.
On this, how do you choose?
You can't press it again to stop it.
You can't. I think we'll just run the outro. I think we'll just go. But thanks very much for sticking with us on this interesting show today. Thanks to Paul. Thanks to Sam and her Secret Mission. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, happy holidays.
See you then.